time to talk about our favorite and least favorite Christmas songs. And Drew Clavin will actually be joining us for this part of the show. So, Matt, there's a pretty troubling topic. I think you've been covering it better than any of us on social media. Why don't you fill us in?
I think it's important around Christmas time to focus on the negative. So it's important to establish what are the 5 worst or the worst Christmas songs, because we have to endure them.
Have you ever felt your heart grow 3 sizes on any Christmas day, Matt? Christmas songs are great. What's wrong with you?
It hasn't happened yet, but mainly because of these songs. I'm blaming these songs. So if I were to make a list of like the top 5 worst Christmas songs, All I Want for Christmas, Do They Know It's Christmas, and then Wonderful Christmas Time, Wonderful Christmas Time, and Wonderful Christmas Time round out the top 3.
I'm out.
Please. We can end this now.
Unbelievable.
How dare you?
Wonderful Christmas Time is so aggressively bad. It fills me with rage when I listen to it. It's the least creative, least innovative song I've ever heard.
I think you just don't understand what Sir Paul McCartney is trying to convey, which is that he is simply having a wonderful Christmas time.
I will grant Matt one thing. The lyrics they're a little they are a little bit off, and yet I like that song much more than his fellow ex-Beatle John Lennon's song "War Is Over," "Merry Christmas, War Is Over," with that awful screeching Yoko in the background. However, the lyrics of "War Is Over" is actually quite Christmassy, right? Like the spiritual warfare is over, the savior of the world is here. I'm sure this was all going through John and Yoko's mind when they were writing it. But the fact is, as a song itself, the McCartney song much better.
I'd like to make an offering to the group, if I may, just because I know more about old music than I think almost anybody. Back in the days when they wrote good songs, they actually wrote the worst Christmas song ever written, which is the Happy Snowman.
On a Christmas Eve, a happy snowman stood and dreamed beside a cottage door.
It's about a happy snowman who's happy because he's a member of the family. And the kids promise him that there'll be a gift under the tree for him. And he just feels so proud that he's a member of the family. And then suddenly tragedy strikes. And I'm not capable of relating this in my own words. Let me just read to you the lyrics that describe the final lyrics of this song. The cottage porch looked beautiful and bright. The holly wreath was turned on for the night, when all at once it caught on fire and fell. He couldn't knock. He couldn't ring the bell. He couldn't run for help. He couldn't call. But then he had to save the children after all. He knew he'd melt away, and yet the snowman threw himself across the burning floor. How the children miss their friends, the snowman, but they'll always remember him for a heart that was brave, and the joy that he gave, and the funny fedora he wore.
That sounds great. What's the problem with that?
If that song doesn't move you, I don't know. I don't know what would.
I don't own a Victrola, so I'll never be able to hear that song. But man, that got dark fast.
Turns bad very quickly, I know.
Yeah, well, I think clearly the answer is actually slightly different. And the clear answer here is Little Drummer Boy. Harumpa-pum-pum, harumpa-pum-pum, harumpa-pum-pum. Just endlessly into the dark night of eternity. It's just, it's repetitive. It doesn't actually have a bridge. It just repeats over and over and over until you die.
I will say, Ben, that when I was a kid,